Another team clinches the USL playoff spot. August Player of the Month nominees revealed, and the Cup fever is rising. Welcome to All Talk, All USL Talk. USL community scores, news, and developments in the second highest division. The United States men's professional soccer system, the USL Championship. I'm your host, as always, Vince Galvano. Happy Monday, September 8th. Back to the swing of things in autumn as we approach it. Last week was Labor Day, but now a full week here. Episode number 66, episode 27 of season 2 of Talk USL. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're enjoying the show, just before we get into it, follow the podcast at Talk USL across all social media channels. You can always DM me over there, or you can always write to me at talkuslchampionship@gmail.com. Any questions you have, any points you want to make, thoughts on the show, thoughts on your team, predictions for the future, shoot them my way. Be happy to shout them out in the future episodes. Okay, so getting into it, things to cover here. It was a jam-packed week, as it typically is. Neill Collins had an emotional return to face his former club, Tampa Bay, coming from Sacramento. That was a good matchup. Hartford, they fell and they bounced back real quick, and they actually made a pretty cool signing. That's something to cover as well. We have the August Player of the Month nominees voting still until 12 p.m. today, so you can get that out on USLChampionship.com. We'll break down the nominees and then obviously the games, and towards the end of the show, we'll preview the USL Jägermeister Cup because it comes back, only 2 more matches before we know who's in the final of the first time that the USL League One as well as the USL Championship combining for the USL Jägermeister Cup. As a reminder, 3 USL Championship teams and the remaining 4, 1 USL League One side. We'll catch that up later in the show, but I'll make sure to put it in the show notes as well as a chapter if you want to just skip on over to it. No problemo. Okay, goal of the week before we get into the August Player of the Month nominees. Couple cool contenders here. Aiden McFadden, by the way, who also had a ridiculous goal this week, back-to-back weekends. I mean, McFadden is he's up there right now in terms of on everyone's mind, Lou City-wise. Indiana versus Lou City back in August 30th, the Leap FC rivalry. McFadden cut in for the left side, curled home a brilliant strike to the top right corner to begin Lou City's comeback victory against their rival, Indy 11, back on August 30. Kobe Hernandez Foster for Detroit. I watched a little bit of Detroit this past weekend, by the way. Woof, they looked really, really good at home. Detroit took on San Antonio on August 30th, though, and LaRouge's recent addition, Kobe Hernandez-Foster, one of the big switches that had taken place so far this season in terms of transfers, scored his first goal for the club with a pinpoint free kick in the top left corner from 25 yards out. Maury Donor, the Canadian, Oakland versus Monterey Bay. Donor struck against his former club with a laser from 25 yards that picked out the bottom left corner of the net, giving Roots a much-needed victory. And Darius Johnson, Phoenix, taking on a pass of the Granada International, produced a sensational weaving run through the halfway line, beating 3 Locomotive defenders before rounding the keeper and finishing into the top net. It was a close call between Aiden McFadden and Kobe Hernandez-Foster. Those were the 2 that were at the top of the rankings. Aiden McFadden, though, with 50% of the fans vote. Kobe Hernandez-Foster had 33%. So Aiden McFadden, congrats on the fans' choice goal of the week for week 26, but we are in Matchweek at the moment, 22/23/24 if you're Monterey Bay. August Player of the Month nominees, 4 teams to shout out, 4 players, as you know. Here they are: Sacramento Republic, Lou City, Hartford, and El Paso. Let's start with El Paso. Gabriel Torres, the midfielder, recorded 2 goals and 2 assists in 5 appearances as Locomotive compiled an undefeated month, ranking 3rd in the league with 14 chances created, while posting a 57.1 shooting accuracy rate on 9 shots overall. So he made the short list. Kyle Edwards for Hartford Athletic. Edwards recorded 3 goals, 1 assist across 5 appearances, including a goal and assist in Athletic's first victory against Rhode Island FC. Averaged a goal every 63.3 minutes, while posting a shooting accuracy of 71% approximately. Jansen Wilson was the other one for Lou City, midfielder. He recorded 4 goals and 1 assist across 5 contests as Lou City went undefeated in the month, averaging a goal every 107 minutes approximately, while posting a shot conversion rate of 30%. and a shooting accuracy rate of 67 approximately percent. Last one, though, for Sacramento, the veteran Rodrigo Lopez. He recorded 2 goals and 3 assists in 4 appearances across the month, averaging a goal contribution every 46.2 minutes while logging 7 chances created. So the best average of goals per minute, albeit and only played 4 games, as opposed to 5 appearances compared to Jansen Wilson, Kyle Edwards, Gabriel Torres. So there they are. The nominees are out. If you're still listening to this before 12 p.m. Eastern Time Monday morning, you can get on USLChampionship.com and put your vote out there. As you know, it always comprises 51% of the vote from the fan vote. The USL Technical Committee comprised 25% of the aggregate of the ballot, and then USL's National Media Panels ballots comprised 24%. The award winner and completing voting results will be announced on the 11th of September. So there you go. That's the 4 contenders. I think I'll know who I vote for. I won't say, though. Hartford taking on Indy 11. That was one of the games that took place at midweek. We'll break down these fixtures now. So Hartford, here's the thing. They've been on, red-hot form, hosting Indy 11 on Wednesday nights, but Indy, they're back in the playoff mode. Road shutout for them. They kept their postseason hopes alive. Disciplined 2-0 victory. Jack Blake set the tone early, smashing home a left-footed strike in just the 3rd minute, his 8th of the season, and get this, 40th career USL Championship goal. Hartford pressed hard for the equalizer, forcing multiple saves, but Indy's defense and goalkeeping held firm. After absorbing pressure in the second half, Indy found some breathing room. The 76th minute in Quinn, long clearance sparked a counterattack. Who else but Romario Williams drawing out Hartford's keeper before laying off to Malik Foster, who calmly finished to seal the win. Reece Charles Cook handled the first half before Hunter Salt came on and produced 5 saves in 22 minutes of action, preserving the clean sheet. And then, the win pushes Indy back into the 8th place spot. Very tight over there. So, that's the thing. Could they turn these defensive resilience to the playoff run? Well, they played against Charleston over the weekend. We'll cover that game in a bit. But, the big thing that had come just afterwards on, I think it was Friday it was announced, Hartford's big swing, signing Hadji Barry. Sometimes in this league, you sell a star, and then you swing even bigger. It was a really hot acquisition prior to the transfer window closing for USL Championship sides. That's exactly what Hartford Athletic did after sending Mamadou Dieng to Minnesota United for a club record fee. Brendan Burke promised a proven replacement was on the way, and boy, did he deliver. Hadji Barry is back in the USL Championship. Barry's resume speaks for itself. In case you don't know, Golden Boot, Player of the Year, and 41 goals in 62 games during his time at the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. He thrived under Burke once before, and now he reunites with his old coach, former running mate, in Galena and Hartford's front line. It could be a statement signing for Hartford, chasing its first playoff berth since 2020. It's got a Jägermeister Cup semifinal this week, and it's finally looking like a long-term contender. Club's ownership backing Burke's vision here. The team's form is hot, as we know, and now they've added a striker who can maybe change the game on any given night. Make no mistake, with Hadji Barry leading the line, Hartford just raises stakes in the Eastern Conference. So maybe a chance here with Hadji Barry coming into the mix, but a veteran in the USL Championship. He's played all around from Colorado Springs Pitchbacks, but for the past 2 years, he was playing at Future in Egypt, which was Modern Sport FC over there for 2 seasons in the Egyptian Premier League. They had finished 14th last time around, but now back in the USL Championship. He'd scored 2 goals in 17 appearances in that division. So that was interesting for him. A native of Guinea as well. So now playing for Hartford Athletic back in the USL Championship. And he did play in Hartford's match against Miami. Again, we'll cover that in a second. But first, I want to talk Lexington Sporting Club because they are hitting the stride when they need to. At home at Lexington Sporting Club Stadium, 4,233 in attendance, and they continue this playoff push. Composed 2-1 victory. They controlled the first half, 61% possession, broke through in stoppage time when Blaine Ferry danced through defenders to set up Forster. Iago for a simple tap-in. Then it was Nick Firmino who double lead in the 72nd minute after a Marcus Epps cross ricocheted around the box and fell kindly right to him. Though Rodrigo da Costa of North Carolina pulled one back late in the 87th minute, it was too little, too late. Lexington's defense stayed firm to secure 3 critical points. That's 6 wins, 2 losses, and 4 draws at home this season. They have a bit of a home stronghold here. And then take a look at the last 11 matches for Lexington. And again, I mean, a great example of just, exercising your option to come up into the championship, adjusting to it. It was a bleak beginning of the season. I think they had their first win against Hartford too, if I'm not mistaken, way back in the beginning of the season, right? And then now, 7 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws in their last 11 matches. So peaking at the right time. Very, very important. So here we go. We'll see what happens as they show that maybe that consistency needed for the playoff run. And Galbraith with the coverage there on Lexington Sporting Club website. Phoenix and Las Vegas played to a stalemate at Phoenix Rising Stadium. It was a 3-match homestand for Phoenix, wrapping up with a 0-0 draw. They controlled possession night, 62% in their favor. Meanwhile, Las Vegas looked pressed high, created a few nervy moments, but neither team could really break through. Patrick Rakowski stood tall in goal. He made 2 saves during Rising's its 3rd clean sheet of the season. That's crazy. Even with Vegas going down to 10 men late after O'Driscoll's red card in stoppage time, Phoenix couldn't capitalize. It was quite late. It took place 93rd minute to be quite exact. But Vegas' back line, despite multiple cautions, heavy pressure, they bent, but it didn't break, really, until that red card. Avievu always been looking good at the moment, nearly unlocked Vegas with some sharp interplay, but his best chance fizzled in the final third. There you go, 5 shots, 2 on target on the night for Phoenix. Meanwhile, Las Vegas had 9 shots, 2 of them on target, only 1 big chance as well. 5 goals prior to that in their last 5 matches. Meanwhile, Phoenix were really in goal scoring form with 11 goals in their last 5 matches. But yeah, 0-0. I think they'll both take that draw and try to get points elsewhere. Phoenix Rising FC website. Detroit, we got to talk Detroit. I was up late on Saturday night over here in Central Europe, so I had the game on, watching a little bit of what was really entertaining first half. It really exploded at Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck. I think Darren Smith opened the score in the 12th minute after capitalizing on a defensive mistake. And then Ethan Zubak equalized from the penalty spot minutes later. And it was a cagey affair. Both teams really getting hostile towards each other. Chris Hagar is obviously getting into the mix as he typically does. But LaRouge, they kept pressing. Drew's thunderous strike in the 31st. And then Cedeno looked great in the first half. He had a nice opportunistic finish in the 40th that sent Detroit into halftime up 3-1. And then Orange County just really never found the rhythm in the second half. Detroit sealed the victory when Jordan Adebayo Smith's header set up Alex Villanueva for a calm finish in the 82nd minute. The win keeps Detroit tied for 5th in the East, level with Hartford Athletic. 3 different scores, though, for Detroit in 45 minutes. Nice offensive depth, maybe peaking as well at the right time. Multiple players contributing goals, right? And if the attackers keep firing on all cylinders as such, and they keep that really nice atmosphere going at Keyworth Stadium, keep the intensity high, and they could be looking at a solid, maybe even hosting a game in the playoffs. Charleston were the other team that had clinched this weekend, taking on Indy 11 at home at Patriots Point. It was a brace for the man. Cal Jennings struck first in the 30th minute, buried a penalty kick after MD Myers was fouled in the box. He doubled the lead in the 67th, pouncing on a defensive mix-up to notch his 14th league goal of the year. He's leading the way, and it's crazy after how, Charleston, what they had managed to do, the fact that Nick Marcanic had left last season, but picking up Cal Jennings from Tampa Bay, and the guy has proven clinical. 14 goals so far in the season, leading the way, albeit not as much goals as Nick Marcanic, but still some time to catch up there. But still, Andy pulled one back through Jack Blake in the 72nd. That was 9th goal of the season. I think it was 41st goal in the USL Championship. Charleston's defense goalkeeper Luis Amudio held firm to see out the victory. So he's leading the golden boot race right now, Cal Jennings. Aaron Malloy dictated the play with 105 accurate passes, 6 duels won, 2 chances created. A midfield masterclass. So you have him anchoring the midfield, Jennings red hot, pyramid side, balancing some grit with some flair. And as you know, Juan De Vitor is always good in the set pieces as well. So we'll see what happens as we further develop. But man, oh man, Charleston clinching the 2nd spot in the USL Championship playoffs. Charleston Battery with the coverage there on WCSC. Official press release as well. Miami and Hartford going toe-to-toe. This one, Hartford back to winning ways in Florida. And it's Panayotu whose return seals Hartford's road win. It was a vital 1-0 victory. It was tightly contested first half. Mangangela sparked the breakthrough in the 53rd minute by stealing possession, setting up Panayotu, who's out on loan at the moment in Hartford from Rhode Island. He buried that one-time left-footed finish. Then Hadji Barry, we talked about him, made his long-awaited debut off the bench. Really helped to create a second. While Anthony Sia delivered a string of big saves to preserve the clean sheet. The win extends Hartford's strong run of form back into form, and now shifting focus obviously to the semifinal clash. Panayotu, though, back from injury, the New England Aloni, marking his return with that match winner, which was great. Sia did register 5 saves on the night. And yeah, there you go. 11 shots on the night, 4 on target for Hartford. Didn't control most of the possession, but with the possession they had, they made sure to count. Hartford Athletic news release there via our Sports Central. Tampa Bay taking on Sacramento. A couple things I want to talk about, obviously. Neill Collins' return here to Tampa Bay, obviously representing now Sacramento Republic on the touchline. But John Morrissey's back for a breakdown newsletter. John Morrissey, it's always Nicholas Murray for newsletter, all news content, USL Championship, and then everything when it comes to breaking down tactics, little intricacies, what formations, what's the strat. John Morrissey is great. Definitely check out his profile, his website as well. Back for newsletter, subscribe to it. Highly recommend. He broke down the frame of the Rowdies' current state this past week, and he talked about a couple of things, 3 things to be exact. But I'll focus on 2 for the sake of just time, right? So inconsistency rooted in the back 4 was one of them. The other, though, signs of tactical blueprint emergence. So a little bit of like a negative and positive. So let's start with the negative. So Morrissey pointed out that Tampa Bay's low press in a 5-3-1-1 shape often leaves like a passive defense. It invites a bit of pressure, as well as box entries. Like 20 touches conceded to Pittsburgh in just one half is what was asinine, as I like to say. The back line compresses but doesn't press, which creates exploitable channels. So makes the Rowdies' defensive numbers look middling despite having all these bodies behind the ball. But here's a good sign. There's a tactical blueprint emerging. Substitutions, particular Arteaga, Paul Murray, showed how Tampa Bay can reshape their back 4 or 5 into something more aggressive and organized. Arteaga's hold of play and Marie's ability to break lines gave the Rowdies more balance between pressing and possession. Morrissey noted that, these moments are rare, but represent a path forward if they somehow want to sneak into the playoffs as a dark horse. That's on tactical breakdown of Tampa Bay. Now, coaching carousel-wise, we know it spins in any league. Facing a former club as a head coach is a relatively common occurrence, though, in the USL Championship. Just look, Dennis Sanchez made his return to Las Vegas and New Mexico. You had last year Orange County's Danny Stone facing Phoenix Rising FC, and at Hartford Athletic's Brendan Burke facing Colorado Springs Switchbacks. But now, check it out. Sacramento Republic FC manager Neill Collins, his return to face Tampa Bay Rowdies at Al Lang Stadium this past Saturday night, it carried something different. He had said leading up to the game, I think it'll be a little bit strange. Listen, I've been here long enough now, totally focused in Sacramento and being successful here. The only thing that really matters to me on Saturday is winning. But no question, when you spend 7 years with a club, a lot of people that you worked with, a lot of those relationships, it'll be strange being on a side that wants to beat them, That's what he said. USLChampionship.com and Nicholas Murray there with the coverage. So Republic FC, though, Neill Collins back at his former homestead, and he made chances count. Sacramento traveled to Florida, Tampa Bay over there, right? Left home with a 2-0 victory. The Indomitable Club didn't need a flurry of chances, just 2 well-taken moments. Rodrigo Lopez, who we know, right, is currently a contendee for the August Player of the Month. He scored in the 29th minute, the long-range strike that deflected past the goalkeeper before Russell Cicerone iced the game in stoppage time with a composed finish set up by Sebastian Herrera. Sacramento's defensive strength once again anchoring the performance. Danny Vitiello making 4 saves on the night, while Ryan Jeji and the back line absorbed Tampa Bay's second half pressure to preserve the shutout. Republic FC banking 3 points, carrying momentum as well into their upcoming Jägermeister Cup semifinals. Only 2 shots on goal, but hey, they both turned into goals. Vitiello made 4 saves on the night. Back-to-back clean sheets for Sacramento here. And I mean, one question you can ask Jeff, can Sacramento's defense-first approach carry them through this stretch of heavy fixtures? Well, yes. If with Vidiello in goal, backline that consistently wins key duels, and if you just take the chances that you get, Lopez, Cicerone both in form, you can look to build for knockout games and playoff pressure, and a great one coming up in the semifinals for the USL Jägermeister Cup this week. Sacramento Republic FC news released via our Sports Central there. Rhode Island taking on a loose city at Centerville Bank Stadium. What was announced this past Wednesday was midfielder Kevin Lambert. I'm sorry, no, it shouldn't be. It was announced Wednesday that Kevin Lambert, the Jamaican international, was selected by the men's national team for its upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Bermuda, against Trinidad and Tobago. He didn't play, though, in the 4-0 thrashing of Bermuda, but may have a chance to appear against Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday night. We'll see, but congratulations to Kevin Lambert for the call-up there. Lose City, though, at Centerville Bank Stadium. Aidan McFadden, somehow, someway, in the 18th minute, strikes a curling effort that smashed off the far post and in. Was the only goal in a tight 1-0 win, but this goal was from an impossible angle. I mean, it's either that or the Colorado long-range shot that will win goal of the week next time around. And mark my words there. Rhode Island, though, talking about them, they frustrated the league leaders with disciplined performance. They outshot Louisville 8-4, holding the lion's share of possession, keeping Lou City's high-powered attack to just one shot on target. But the Ocean State side couldn't find the finishing touch, and their late push came up short. McFadden's magic, a really stunning strike from him. I mean, elsewhere, Elder Sanchez, he was named player of the match for his energy and defensive composure. Despite the loss, Coque Vegas marked his 100th USL appearance. Largely untested throughout, but still a tremendous achievement for him. Hoping for another 100 in the USL Championship and then some. So can Rhode Island's defense-first approach as well carry them into a deep cup or playoff run? It gives them a chance. I mean, holding Charleston to 5 shots last week is tough. Charleston then Louisville to 4 here. But just sharpen up the attacking output, and then the margin for error, as we know, is razor thin. But if you manage that, then hey, you're looking to just kind of get back in there. Probably not hosting a game, but still getting back into the playoffs and back-to-back season. You are the Eastern Conference and finalists from last season as well. Rhode Island FC news released via our Sports Central, as well as their official website there. Tulsa taking on Birmingham at One Oak Field. Calhera, reliable again. His 11th goal of the season. He converted a cool penalty in first half stoppage time to give the host a deserved advantage. Tulsa, they try to press hard at the rate. They generate 12 shots, keeping Matt Van Okel busy in between the pipes for Legion. But in the 87th minute, Birmingham stole a point as Jack Ruffey rose highest on a set piece to nod home the equalizer. Despite the frustration, Tulsa's draw does still keep them on top in the West, while also stretching that home unbeaten run. Lamar Batista, commanding for most of the night, summed it up himself. Great for 82 minutes. And Matt Van Okel looked quite solid as well, denying El Metkar, Lukic, and Weber on those occasions too. I think here, maybe matches could be like this are a warning, maybe, for Tulsa. They have the attacking firepower and composure to win games, but if you have late lapses on set pieces, 87 minutes, not ideal to concede. Just got to bunker in. I keep using that word, bunker, and make sure you hold off that win. But in any case, it doesn't do too much damage to them at the moment. They've been great, Tulsa. I'm sure they regret this one, but they'll have a chance next time around in their upcoming match, which will be, just to double check, against New Mexico. I'll be on the New Mexico side. They finally got a win after quite some time as well. Okay, so elsewhere, in terms of performances, I think only 3 more games to cover. San Antonio took on New Mexico United. We just talked about them. Back into the win column after a hard-fought 1-0 road victory over San Antonio. The first league win since June 21. Hallelujah for all New Mexico United fans. You're praying that this means we can get back to winning ways. It was the 67th minute where the decisive moment came. Luther Archimede netted his first goal for the club, capitalizing on a key opportunity to give the black and yellow the lead. It was a match marked by grit, defensive tenacity. Chris Shakes recorded his second clean sheet of the season, several crucial saves on the night, commanding his area with confidence against a physical San Antonio side. Defensively, United dominated nearly every category, showcasing the discipline and intensity that lacking in recent weeks. You know, they haven't won in a match in 5 attempts. They haven't scored in the last 2 matches. Craziness. But the victory not only delivers a vital 3 points, but could also serve as a turning point in hopefully another playoff appearance for the side. So Archie Mede there with the goal. If you recall, the Guadalupean professional player had just played for Monterey Bay before switching over to New Mexico. Monterey Bay, speaking of them, it was Gavin Houndstein, by the way, on NewMexicoUnited.com with the coverage there. Colorado Springs Switchbacks taking on Monterey Bay at Widener Field. Monterey Bay, the visitors, they struck first. Tarek Scott pounds on a rebound and make it 1-0, but after the break, the Switchbacks controlled the possession and the tempo, and it was something crazy happened in the 56th minute. Tyler Clegg provided the spark, just kind of kept taking the ball from his own half inside. He was looking for a pass. He kept going. No one was stepping, and then he just said, I think maybe I can set myself up for a shot. He unleashes a rocket from 35 yards. That's a level of score. Just 7 minutes later, though, Kyle Vassell muscling past his marker, calmly finishing to score his first Switchbacks goals, completing the comeback, sealing all 3 points. Incredible stuff there from Colorado Springs. Comeback win highlighting the team's ability to dig in and respond at home. Key fixtures, though, upcoming. Consistency at Widener will be crucial for their playoff push. Ashley Purslow there with the coverage. El Paso taking on Loud in the last game we cover here. Before, I just want to shout out the fact that Jamali Wade had been called up to the Jamaican international team. So he posted a really nice performance, 3 saves against Bermuda in the 4-0 victory, clean sheet for the international side. So that meant Sebastian Mora had to step in between the pipes for El Paso, his first appearance since July 27th when he only played 26 minutes against Union Omaha. Last time he played in the USL Championship, we have to go back to June 22nd, where he posted a really good performance in an away win against Monterey Bay FC. So there you go. Let's see now what happens. El Paso hosts Loudoun United here at Southwest University Park, and they saw their 7-game unbeaten streak end. Visitors stunned the host early with 2 goals inside the opening 12 minutes. Just a really back and forth little jab, double jab there, forcing El Paso to really chase the match for most of it. Despite hitting the crossbar twice, dominating the second half, Los Locos couldn't fully recover. Palermo Ortiz pulled one back in the 60th minute with a header off Ricky Ruiz' corner, but his nights turned sour just minutes later as he was sent off in the 75th minute. Even down to 10 men, though, El Paso pushed late, could not find an equalizer. Ben Mines, Drew Skundrick providing the early knockout punch, each scoring inside the first 12 minutes. Skundrick somehow manages to get in those goals. You know, I believe it's his 2nd or 3rd goal this season. So, does the loss derail El Paso's playoff push? Not yet. It could be a warning if, you know, form like this continues. But they generated chances, 20 shots. You know, they just kind of had some mental lapses. Obviously, their starting goalkeeper wasn't in between the pipes. That also has a bit of an effect, as you know. And when you go down in the beginning of the game, it's sometimes hard to get back into it. And that's El Paso Locomotive FC news release there. Our Sports Central as well as their official website. Oakland and Pittsburgh, we'll just preview real quick because I'm recording on a Sunday. But 3 key hype builders on this game. Defensive redemption line. Pittsburgh has not kept a clean sheet in 5 straight league games. Both goals conceded last week came from corners. That's one thing. Can they, rediscover their defensive identity in Oakland? Meanwhile, finishing frustrations versus Roots' striker threat. The Hounds generating a mountain of chances in Tampa. 70 final third entries, 26 touches in the box, 36 crosses, but only found 1 goal. Across the field, though, Oakland leans heavily on Peter Wilson, who leads the team with 7 goals and 3 assists. So which tackle will have the bigger punch there? And obviously playoff pressure building for both sides. Pittsburgh needs a win to halt its slide and get back into the East top 4 chase. Oakland sits 3 points below the playoff line leading into that game. Both clubs playing with postseason urgency. What feels like a swing game for their campaigns. And that's really what was this past week in the USL Championship in terms of key fixtures. So Charleston, the 2nd team to clinch with 50 points. That magic 50 number, getting the 5-0, getting up there in points. So they are the 2nd team in the playoffs. Obviously, Lou City, we know, clinched last week around, so they have 54 points, still top of the Eastern Conference, 54. Charleston with 54 points behind them, that tremendous gap between 2nd and 3rd place. Loudoun, back-to-back wins for them. They find themselves 37 points, just separating themselves from the bunch. North Carolina has been in back-to-back losses with 33 points. from 22 matches played, so they have a game in hand over Loudoun United FC, as well as Detroit FC, both having 23 games. Detroit looked pretty good this weekend against OC. They find themselves with 32 points, same as Hartford, who got back to winning ways against Miami. Then 7th, 8th spot, this is where things get very interesting. So Hartford, 4 points ahead of Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens tonight. This is going out on Monday. We'll see what happens in Pittsburgh tonight, but they need a win to really make sure they're staying with the top upper echelon of the Eastern Conference. What's left of it, with Loudoun leading the way, right? Or North Carolina, you can arguably say. Then you have in Indy 11, 23 matches played, 26 points. And in the bottom 4, Rhode Island with 24 points from 23 matches played. Birmingham with 22 points, 23 matches played. Tampa Bay Rowdies with 21 points from 22 matches played. On the bottom of the Eastern Conference is Miami FC. Yet again, they officially dropped down there at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. We'll go from bottom to top in the Western Conference. So the bottom 4 teams outside the playoff points at the moment is in 9th place, OC. They're trying to get in there. They do have 21 matches played, the least out of any team in the USL Championship, similar to New Mexico United. So they have games in hand, which is going to help out tremendously. Then you have Las Vegas Lights with 24 points from 23 matches played. They find themselves in 10th place at the moment. Monterey Bay, the most matches played in the USL Championship with 24, but they only have 24 points from it. 11th place for them. Bottom of the Western Conference is Oakland Roots with 21 matches played, similar to OC. We'll see again what happens against Pittsburgh, but yeah, a draw or a win will do wonders for really either side. Just don't lose could be the message. We'll see what happens there. Then top 8 in the Western Conference. San Antonio with 30 points, 22 matches played. Phoenix Rising, same amount of points, 23 matches played. New Mexico United, 21 matches played, 30 points as well. Colorado Springs Switchbacks, 22 matches played, 30 points. You have 4 teams from 5th to 8th place on 30 points. And what's crazy about it is the fact El Paso sits in 3rd place, guys. 32 points. There's only a 2-point difference between 8th place and 3rd place in the Western Conference. Absolutely crazy. Lexington's the other team right in the middle there, was in 4th place with 31 points and 23 matches played. Top 2, this is how it looks. FC Tulsa with 43 points. Top of the Western Conference despite the draw this past weekend. Sacramento Republic FC, back-to-back wins for them. They take on a Phoenix Rising side next. They have 37 points and a game in hand over Tulsa. So very, very interesting stuff. As you know, Cal Jennings leading the way, top scorers with 14 goals. Right behind him, though, is Miami's Francisco Bonifilio and Philip Goodrum with 12. And Francisco has 13. That's how things going in the table. Then preview of the matches up and coming. USL Jägermeister Cup. Let's talk that before we get into what the next matches are over the week in the USL Championship. The Jägermeister Cup, 2 games coming at you Wednesday. Mark your calendars, September 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's Rhode Island and Sacramento Republic going head-to-head at Centerville Bank Stadium. Rhode Island FC have quietly turned themselves into giant killers, and now they're just 90 minutes away from a spot in the Cup final. They had a win over Charleston, showing just how disciplined and resilient the squad can be. J.J. Williams continuing to lead the line. At home in Pawtucket, they'll look to ride the energy of the Centerville Bank Stadium, where the fans have been a force all summer. They'll come out in droves on Wednesday night. Mark my words there. But standing in their way, Sacramento Republic FC, one of the USL's most consistent and opportunistic side. We just covered them, right? 2nd place at the moment. And they have a Rodrigo Lopez who is in form, continues to be the heartbeat of the seed. Russell Cicerone's recent scoring form makes the Quails a tough out. Sacramento league-leading defense will be tested by Rhode Island's physicality, but the visitors have the pedigree and experience to thrive in knockout soccer. Expect a tactical chess match between the two sides. Who's going to rise to the occasion then? Wednesday night, 7 p.m. semifinals, USL Jägermeister Cup, Rhode Island against Sacramento. I'm going for Sacramento in that one. Hartford Athletic taking on Greenville Triumph SC here Wednesday, September 10th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hartford, as we know, flying into semifinal with momentum, back to winning ways, even despite losing earlier in the week to Indy 11. They got the win against Miami. Now they extend their unbeaten run, and just to feel that massive signing, Hadji Barry. While Barry may not start, the simple fact that he's in the squad sends a message. Add in Galina Panayotu's return from injury. Boys in green look loaded with attacking options. Greenville, though, come in with nothing to lose as a lone USL League One representative. They already proved their mettle by knocking on 8-11 in dramatic fashion. They can weather Hartford's early pressure and make the most of set pieces in the transition moments. They got a real chance to shock a championship side and make their way into the final for Hartford. Man, oh man, what a way to just mark a solid season, getting to the final, competing for some silverware, regardless of what happens in the USL Championship playoffs, regardless if you qualify in the USL Championship playoffs, you have a chance 2 wins away from getting the USL Jägermeister Cup. That's what's on the line, and you're home. Very interesting stuff. We'll see what happens there. That is going to be Wednesday's semifinal fixtures in USL Jägermeister Cup. Back to the USL Championship. A couple things happening, as well as Wednesday's nights. Once you're done watching the semifinal games, look no further than New Mexico taking on Detroit City FC at home, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific at New Mexico at the Lab. We'll see what happens there. I mean, New Mexico need to catch up on some games. Detroit looked really solid against OC, firing on all cylinders. It'll be a tough affair in that matchup there. Lexington Sporting Club hosting Orange County on Friday, September 12th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Friday as well, you'll have North Carolina hosting El Paso at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. Then Saturday for the boys, Saturday for USL Championship, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific, Loudoun United hosting San Antonio FC. And then at 7 p.m., you have 2 games going on, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. Pittsburgh hosting Louisville, and Rhode Island hosting Indy 11. Half an hour later, 2 games as well. Charleston Battery hosting Oakland Roots, and Tampa Bay Rallies hosting Colorado Springs Switchbacks as well. New Mexico United will play again on Saturday, September 13th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific against FC Tulsa at home as well. So back-to-back home games for them. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Sacramento hosts Phoenix Rising. Monterey Bay hosts Hartford Athletic. Last game of the weekend will be Las Vegas Lights hosting Miami FC, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. The USL Championship also announced that the match between Miami FC and Rhode Island FC, scheduled for Wednesday, September 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern, has been rescheduled to Friday, September 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll cover that obviously next time around, but we'll see what happens. Semifinals, we'll know what the final looks like next week. Don't forget to vote for the Player of the Month nominees. If you're listening to this before 12 p.m. Eastern on Monday, USLChampionship.com. Put your vote in, especially if you're a Sacramento fan, Lou City fan, Hartford fan, or El Paso fan. Your players are competing with each other. That's the thing. All right, everyone. Have a great week and talk soon.